Click, 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 click. Today I'm going to be showing you 7 different ways that I use scenes. Why 7? I'm not really sure. I just came up with a bunch of ways and counted them, and I counted to 7. Let me just do a little bit of spring cleaning here. In preparation for this video, I printed some stems from my last video on the Octatrack when I was recording some smooth lo-fi music. I recorded all of the stems for that and imported them into the Octatrack. So I've got 7 patterns. Sound like this. I'll just quickly go through them all. Those are the patterns, and we're going to be using scenes in some interesting ways to spice up these loops. So we're going to start off easy, and most obviously our first use of scenes is for parameter locking. So I'm going to mess around with the effects. Here I'm playing around with the lo-fi effect on the piano channel. Track 3 for the drums. I'm actually going to pitch it down a bit, that's quite nice. And also play around with the distortion and the lo-fi of this. Maybe not. Yeah, it's quite nice. So obviously parameter locks are the easiest way to create some movement in your loops. If you ever get stuck with where to go after creating a 4-bar loop, use scenes to create some movement. It's as simple as that. Here on the master I'm using the DJ filter. I use this trick a lot. Now let's add some dark reverb. That's better. Even something as simple as fading out the drums can really provide a sense of space, movement, transition. All of that lovely stuff can be done with scenes. A well-timed scene transition can really elevate a song, I think. Second on our list now is something which I believe is just wavetable scanning. Some people like to call it granular, but it's not really granular because you usually have multiple instances of the same sample playing at the same time to create that effect. And with the Octatrack we only have one instance of the sample being looped again and again, so it's more like wavetable. It's quite easy to do. Once you've loaded your sample, you set the retrig to infinite, and then you can mess around with the retrig time, and then you set the start position as a scene and you use the fader to move the scene up and down, just like this. But you can get some really beautiful results. In this case there's a lot of fading in and out, which I can fix with some volume automation in the scene. So we'll increase the volume where it's quietest and just lower the volume where it's at its loudest. Try to get some uniformity from it. Add some reverb. Nice. lovely. There we go. And the third item on my list, I like to make my own wah-wah pedal that I can twiddle with the old fader. So I'm going to use the equalizer. We want the peak EQ. Set the gain way high, or as high as you like, to taste. You probably want to bring the volume down, and then you can automate the frequency, just like that. As I say, I very often print these results into a file that I can then chop up, loop, sample, that kind of thing. You can mess around with the start and end frequencies if you think the sweep is too much. Check that out, that's lovely. Dreamy. This next one I like to call controlled random. Basically for scene A, I will set a bunch of defaults. Here I'm using lo-fi again, I love lo-fi. And then scene B is deactivated, so I can randomize the page and then jump to and fro. It's a nice little performance trick, but you do have to be careful when you're using effects that can drastically affect the volume of a track. Next up, I don't really have a good name for what this trick entails, just kind of switching up the mood. Basically I've got two atmospheric sounds. I've got a summery birdie sound and some rain sounds. So basically I have one turned down way low, and when I move the slider the volume goes up, and another one gets quiet as the slider moves. It's as simple as that, and I do this quite a lot actually, just to change up the mood of a loop. It's quite nice. You can transition between like two different types of vinyl noise, a cassette noise and a vinyl noise, or like I've done here. It's like I just went out of the rain and into the summer. It's nice. Our penultimate one is stem performance. So here I've got a heavily edited version of the full stem, and another one here. And I'm going to show you two different ways to perform these stems. So tracks 5 and 6 are essentially master stems. They are heavily affected versions of tracks 1 to 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the fader to turn down tracks 1 to 4 and turn up track 5. And just like that I can slide in and out between the regular loop and a heavily affected version of the loop. These are really useful when you set up 3 or 4 scenes of heavily affected, pre-processed loops that you can't naturally do in the Octatrack. I tend to go outboard and use outboard effects to prepare these stems beforehand. And this one, I'm just fading the volume in. I'm not turning the volume of tracks 1 to 4 down. So I've got parallel processing going on. Check that out, that's lovely. This is the guy on its own. comes in. Nice. Final one. EasyBot taught me this one. It's the delay trick. You set locking on, you use the scene to set send to 0, and then you play around with your feedback and your time. And then you just flip the fader to the other side, and you can loop stuff. It's just insanely fun to do. I love doing this kind of thing. I know you can use the track buttons at the bottom with the delay mode set on. That's also fun, but it's just nice to throw the fader like that. Another note, if you hold function while you turn the knob for the time, you're actually changing the time in musical intervals. Really crazy with these effects if you've got the time set low enough. That out. If you turn the feedback down just a little bit, you've got a nice little delay reverby thing going on that you can just activate. Lovely. That's about it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Do a like and subscribe and all that stuff if you feel like it. If not, don't worry about it. Just hope you had fun. Make some music. Love you. Bye.